So, let's see what makes you tick. Now, how are we going to do this? Are we going to do it the easy way? Are we going to put a little flair on it? Let's see. This one seems a little too much Mr. Wayne for my taste, but let's see what else we got. Nah, it's not November yet. Maybe later this year. Yep. This seems like it's gonna do the job. Open up. Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video, we're covering the Zoom F6 again. And this topic was brought on by a conversation I was having in the comments section with one of you fine viewers. And it was an interesting one that led to a couple of experiments and tests that I wanted to try, just out of curiosity. And my initial tests have been very informative. So, without any further ado, let's talk about this conversation that I had with this commenter in the corner, their name. So, the phantom power can't be toggled on and off with just a simple switch. You have to go into the settings and turn it off by changing the type of input that you have into it. So, you choose mic for usually like a dynamic or non-condenser or power using microphones. But of course, if you have a mic activator like a cloud lifter or a fed head, you're going to have to put on phantom power to make that run anyway. But there's also an option for mic PH, which stands for phantom power, which I guess phantom PH should be PP, but you know the jokes that are going to come out of that. So it's not PP, it's PH. So that's when you put on phantom power. There is no toggle other than this. Now, that got me thinking, when does the phantom power turn off? Does the phantom power turn off because I switched the input? Does the phantom power turn off because I turned the track off? And that's my test. That's the test I'm going to show you. And I did do these tests just to make sure that it actually would work. Otherwise, I'd be wasting my time doing this video if I didn't know. So let's go through the tests. We're going to do what is the voltage in mic? So the regular mic, is any voltage going into the microphone as a regular dynamic or just simple microphone? How much voltage is going into it when your phantom power is on? Is it actually 48 volts? And what happens when you turn it off, meaning the track? What happens to the voltage that's going to the microphone when the track is turned off? Ideally, it turns to 0. But we're going to find out exactly what happens. And just a little teaser, it was much more involved than just simply turning off. Oh, just a little side note here. If anyone uses a ribbon microphone with the Zoom F6 or any audio devices, be very careful with your 48 volts phantom power or phantom power in general. Ribbon microphones are very sensitive, and most of them can't take the power, can't take the phantom power. They'll rip apart the ribbon. There are some models that require phantom power or can handle phantom power, but for the most part, be careful and look at the manuals and just be advised that phantom power could destroy a ribbon microphone if you're not careful. So I just need to keep that note in there because I know some people may not be informed about this. When I was in school and I was doing audio, we destroyed one. Well, I didn't destroy one. Someone else destroyed it in the building. I was not involved. I wasn't there. I just heard about it. And it was a very expensive microphone, had to be repaired. So don't do that unless it's necessary. Not destroying, but necessary to have phantom power going into the ribbon microphone. Now back to my tests. Alright, so I did my tests, and here is what I found out. And I did this before, but this is obviously what I did for the video, recording it and making sure everything works fine for the recording and everything. So I did 2 tests. I did a test of phantom power with the knob turning off, and I did a test with phantom power on and then switching it to what's the other thing? Oh, regular mic. Rather than having mic with phantom power, I switched it to from mic with phantom power without turning the knobs off to regular mic and see what happens. So this was the first one where I turned off the knob with the phantom power. So you can see phantom power's on. And I turn up the knob. There's nothing hooked up yet. And then I take the positive and negative. I use the Shure website to confirm which ones I use. So the red positive going into 2 and black negative or ground. Well, really it's negative. Going into the 1 position. And you can see here it's 47.8 volts. And now I'm going to speed it up so that you can see that it plummets once I turn the knob off. So it's not getting power anymore. Now the interesting thing that happened was it starts to slow down as you get closer to 0. Now it got below 1, which is pretty much nothing at that point. So just so you know, it gets below 1 very quickly and then starts to slow down pretty significantly. But at that point, trickling less than 1 volt is not that bad, if anything. Even for a ribbon microphone, it's probably not that bad for it. Then what I did was I switched from phantom power to the regular mic setting. And for some reason it was showing up at 61 volts, but it was dropping down. So I guess it would have settled at 48, but I switched it, as you can see here, and it plummets down just the same because there's no phantom power on. And basically you could see that by turning off the phantom power with the knob or switching to a different setting without phantom power being offered, it drops it down and it's completely off and no power. Well, very minuscule amount of power is going through, if any. So from the first one, the first test with the phantom power, I noticed that it took about 20 minutes for it to get to just about absolute 0. So about 25 minutes to absolute 0, no power whatsoever. It was 0.01 or 0.001 at some point when I did my test, and it was around 25 to 30 minutes. And then the other test was pretty much the same. So it's pretty consistent when you turn off phantom power, if you cut it off, regardless of which way you turn it off or cut it off. So that's a cool experiment. It was fun to actually go through with that kind of stuff, and it was informative in the sense that I didn't necessarily need this information, but it's nice to have if anyone's interested in just curiosity. I really don't see this being a like something that you would put in practice, like you would be worrying about this. You know that it turns off, but you know how exact it is. It's just a fun experiment that I wanted to show you guys, and it was very informative in the sense that just knowing how a device works a little bit more. And that all being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you to was it Iro or someone, I forget who, the commenter who I had the conversation with about this and sparked the idea. I really do appreciate the motivation to do something like this, and I like doing stuff like this, little experiments that doesn't necessarily affect like the functionality of it, but it shows how things work. I like seeing how things work and how things tick, so that's kind of cool. So once again, thank you all for watching, and if you liked the video, please hit the like button. Check out more of Zoom F6 videos. The playlist is pretty big. We're coming up on 50 videos for the Zoom F6, so if you have any ideas for the Zoom F6, just let me know down in the comments, and if I haven't covered it, or if it's something that's really in need of a video, or if something like this, something when we try out like this, I'll gladly give it a try, give it some tests, and see if it's worth doing a video, which chances are, if it's like this, it'll be worth doing a video on. And of course, if you like my vibe around here, please consider subscribing. It would be greatly appreciated. We're coming up on 2K subscribers. Very exciting. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Until next time, take care. And I'll see you rebels in the next video.